Just because you administratively convert 13 million illegal aliens from illegal status to legal status does not change the fact that they're overwhelmingly poorly skilled, poorly educated, inadequately able to contribute and to compete in today's society. As regards the virtual fence, let's remember that it should not, and it never was intended to be a substitute for the physical fence.
The main objective here of the people who are calling for so-called comprehensive reform is basically amnesty, amnesty, amnesty. They're just looking for a way to get people who've broken the law, jumped the line, gotten to the head of the line, to get quick green cards to get into the voting booth.
That the president promised mass amnesty for 13 million illegal aliens in exchange for getting the support of the Hispanic caucus for I guess, for insurance ultimately, ultimately for illegal aliens. Now, employers who hire illegal aliens repeatedly should be in jail. And we've had years and years now waiting for secure documentation and machine-readable verification systems to make it very clear to establish a burden of proof.
70% of Arizonans favor this law. That is not a fringe element. That is the mainstream of people in Arizona. And, you know, we don't have to get people legal. What we have to do is get people who are here illegally out of Arizona, out of the United States, so that the people of Arizona, their interests are protected.
This is not a knee-jerk reaction by Arizona. This has been years of careful legal analysis. It has been decades of illegal immigration, escalating violence, and it has been decades of Arizonans pleading for some relief.
Now, Bob, you know, don't you worry about people being stopped who have no reason to be stopped, and all sorts of civil rights violations, and this kind of mushrooming into a storm or a storm cloud that it's going to run rampant through the state of Arizona?
What's running rampant through Arizona is 500,000 illegal aliens at a cost to the state of $1.7 billion a year.
What does this do to the price of labor?
There's no evidence that labor is too expensive in this country. If you ask the average American if wages are too high, the answer is going to be no.
It's disappointing to see that we're not getting support from Secretary Napolitano and the President for the people of Arizona who would like to have assistance from the federal government in enforcing immigration law and in implementing this new law in Arizona.
Think about it. If you are a poor U.S. resident, legal U.S. resident, your kid's a real go-getter, and you're scrambling for a small and very limited share of financial aid, you know, it's not going to resonate very well with moms and dads all across the country that they have to now start competing with illegal aliens for that limited pool.
And the Arizona law is a fair, practical, effective, legal, and constitutionally solid model legislation, and we will see other states doing this.
The proper response from Hillary Clinton and the president should be, we stand with Arizona. We want to work with Arizona to bring about a constructive, meaningful approach to enforcing these laws, to assist Arizona in the implementation of something consistent with immigration law to get the job done. Instead, it's hostility, attack, vicious attack, and misrepresentation, and frankly, we are tired of it.
There's such garbage coming out of your mouth. It's unbelievable.
Oh, this administration is sadly politicizing an issue, and why the Republicans aren't going to meet this administration head on is because all the administration wants to do is let everybody stay, ignore the rule of law, and encourage more law breaking.
But Dan, that's an important argument, man.
Zero
Come on.
proof.
I mean, you can't.
But it's perspective, Rick. It's an important argument, but not if it's untrue. Right now, the law hasn't even been implemented or enforced. The responsible decision would have been for the federal government to wait and say, all right, in deference to the state's prerogatives in these areas, knowing that all Arizona wants to do is assist the federal government in doing what the American people want, let's wait and see how the law is actually enforced.
That's a good point.
We know how to enforce our laws. We know how to enforce our borders. But the administration, and this administration and prior administrations, have been unwilling to do what's needed at labor market key intervention points to ensure that people comply with and respect the basic rule of law.
Why do words like amnesty and path to citizenship so kind of make you twitch?
When you propose these amnesty bills, Katie, you have to look at the language, because not only are you forgiving law breaking, not just the immigration law violations, but failure to file taxes, a variety of fraudulent ID violations, a range of felonies associated with being here illegally that no American citizen could ever expect to enjoy. Right now, if we continue immigration at its current track, we're headed toward 1 billion people in this country, 1 billion people by the end of this century.
Can we come up with a way where they can lead to some type of path to citizenship? It's a very simple question.
Look, if you can do it in a way that doesn't give them an advantage for breaking the law, that doesn't allow them to bring in 12 million, 18 million relatives, if there's a downstream set-off against future immigrants from that country to make up for the fact that we waved a blanket, and if you can do, as Barbara Jordan said before, she, in the 1990s, restore credibility to the immigration enforcement apparatus, there might be a dialogue moving forward.
Unless an illegal alien comes here and then commits an outrageous felony, commits a major criminal offense, the illegal aliens simply get to stay by the millions.
I don't know which is worse, the magnitude of this massive illegal alien amnesty bill that crops up every couple of years, or the tactics by Harry Reid to get this, to tack it onto the defense authorization bill so that he can appease his Hispanic voting base.